In the silent depths of space, amid the shattered remnants of ancient stars, Captain Aria Nova's pulse thundered in sync with the beacon of a forgotten outpost. An eerie distress signal, pulsating like a spectral heartbeat, shattered the cosmic silence and ignited the fury of destiny. Its urgent, ghostly call stirred her soul, promising secrets and looming chaos. In that moment, every star, every shadow, whispered a warning. Something terrible was awakening. Arya stood at the helm of the flagship Aurora's Edge, the command deck alive with the quiet hum of advanced machinery and the soft glow of holographic interfaces. Outside the panoramic viewport, the vastness of the Andromeda frontier unfurled, a swirling tapestry of neon-lit megacities juxtaposed against the dark, silent void, where ancient alien relics floated like memories of a lost time. It was the year 3097 AD, and every flicker of starlight carried the weight of bygone eras and unspoken prophecies. Her eyes, a striking shade of silver, were fixed on the pulsing coordinates of the distress signal. The display showed a ghostly blue beacon emanating from a derelict outpost on the fringes of the Helix Nebula, a sector notorious for its treacherous cosmic anomalies and secrets buried beneath layers of time. Arya's mind raced with possibilities. Was this a cry for help from a stranded colony? Or perhaps the echo of an ancient civilization trying to warn the galaxy of impending doom? A soft alarm vibrated through her suit, punctuating the silence with a steady reminder of duty. The metallic scent of ionized air and heated circuits mingled with the palpable tension in the room. Every detail of the scene, the rhythmic beeping of control panels, the faint hum of energy cores, and the distant haunting echo of the distress call, coalesced into a symphony of both wonder and foreboding. In that moment, Arya felt the convergence of her past and her purpose, as if the universe itself had scripted this encounter. Her mind drifted back to the countless battles and losses that had honed her resolve. Once in the midst of interstellar conflict, she had vowed never to let fear govern her decisions. Now, as the outpost's flickering light beckoned from the dark recesses of space, that same determination surged within her. The weight of her duty to protect her homeworld, and the innocent lives scattered among the stars, settled firmly upon her shoulders. It was a burden tempered by unwavering courage, a beacon of hope amid the encroaching chaos. As the crew busied themselves with preliminary scans and data analyses, Arya's gaze remained unyielding. The holographic map before her pulsed with cryptic symbols and archaic signals, a language not spoken in decades, if ever. The ancient outpost, long considered a relic of a civilization erased by time, now reawakened its voice. Every flicker and surge of energy seemed to hint at hidden dangers and dormant powers that could reshape the fate of entire worlds. In a hushed command, she summoned her trusted officers to the central briefing chamber. "Prepare for immediate course correction," Arya ordered, her voice steady yet imbued with an undercurrent of urgency. "We're heading into uncharted territory. This signal isn't a random echo. It's a call and it demands our attention." All hands remained sharp. As the crew responded with practiced efficiency, Arya took a moment to reflect on the delicate balance between hope and despair. The very air around her vibrated with the tension of impending conflict. Outside, the void of space seemed to pulse in anticipation, as if the cosmos itself were holding its breath. In that suspended heartbeat of time, Captain Arya Nova realized that the journey ahead was not merely a mission. It was the first step into a maelstrom of destiny, where every decision would echo across the stars. With the outpost signal intensifying, and the weight of unknown history pressing in from all sides, Arya steeled herself for the voyage into darkness. Her resolve was unbreakable, her spirit undimmed by the uncertainties of space. The call of the forgotten had been heard, and with it came the promise of revelation and ruin alike. The path ahead was shrouded in mystery, yet within that enigma lay the spark that would ignite the flames of war, a war that would test the limits of courage, honor, and the very essence of humanity. The corridors of the flagship Aurora's Edge pulsed with a quiet urgency, as Captain Arya Nova led her team into the central analysis bay, a vast chamber bathed in the eerie glow of holographic displays and the soft hum of futuristic engines. Here, the ancient distress signal, its spectral rhythm still resonating from the forgotten outpost, was laid out before them in cascading streams of data and cryptic symbols. Arya approached the central console, her silver eyes narrowing as lines of alien script scrolled across the transparent screen. "It's not random static," she murmured, her voice low and resolute. "There's structure, a pattern that suggests deliberate design." The digital map, awash in shifting neon hues, revealed complex geometries and pulses that echoed like a long-forgotten language. At her side, Lieutenant Jax, the ship's data specialist, manipulated the controls with practiced ease. "I've isolated segments of the signal," he explained, his tone a blend of excitement and trepidation. "These bursts of energy, they're coded messages, they repeat in intervals, almost like a call and response pattern." His fingers danced over the holographic interface, enlarging clusters of symbols that shimmered with iridescent light. The atmosphere in the lab was thick with anticipation and quiet intensity. Every surface, smooth metallic walls, softly glowing panels, and the gentle purr of cooling systems, seemed to vibrate with the underlying tension of impending revelation. Chief Engineer Helena joined the conversation, her analytical gaze fixed on a secondary display. "I'm cross-referencing these symbols with known alien dialects, archived from ancient expeditions," she said. "They're unlike anything we've encountered before. Each mark appears to encode both time and spatial coordinates." A low murmur of agreement rippled through the assembled crew, as the data began to suggest a startling possibility. The signal was not just a distress call, but a carefully constructed message meant to be deciphered by a select few. The interplay of light and shadow on the holograms evoked the feeling of wandering through the haunted corridors of a lost civilization, a place where every stone and relic whispered secrets of civilizations long extinguished. Arya's mind wandered momentarily to the abandoned outpost, now reawakened by the pulsating signal. She recalled the outpost's desolate halls, where the silence was as profound as the void outside, and ancient murals glowed faintly under the touch of her ship's probing sensors. The parallel between the sterile brilliance of the analysis bay and the spectral ruins of that alien relic deepened the mystery, one where the present and the past converged in an enigmatic dance. "We need to understand the origin of these symbols," Arya declared, her tone laced with both urgency and resolve. "If this is a call for help, then whoever sent it intended to leave us a breadcrumb trail. But if it's a warning, we might be facing a danger that transcends our current understanding of warfare." Her words resonated in the hushed space, stirring memories of past battles and sacrifices that had shaped her relentless determination. As the team delved deeper into the data, the room filled with a soft, persistent beeping, a reminder of the ongoing influx of information from distant sensors. Lieutenant Jax continued, "The frequency modulation suggests a layered encryption. I'm initiating a decryption algorithm now. It could take a few cycles before we see a coherent pattern." His voice, steady and methodical, contrasted sharply with the chaotic array of data flickering on the screens. In the midst of technical jargon and rapid calculations, Helena's voice broke through the tension. "Captain, I'm noticing an anomaly, a distinct spike in energy that doesn't conform to the rest of the pattern. It's almost as if the signal is attempting to communicate a specific date and location." Her observation was met with a brief, charged silence, punctuated only by the hum of the ship's systems. Arya leaned in, her brow furrowed in concentration. "A pinpoint in time and space," she echoed, her mind racing with implications. That could be where the signal originated, or where its purpose was meant to be fulfilled. The revelation sparked an unspoken understanding among the crew. This was no ordinary transmission. It was a message imbued with urgency and laced with foreboding, hinting at secrets that could alter the course of their mission and the fate of countless worlds. Outside the analysis bay, The Aurora's Edge sailed silently through the cosmic abyss, its journey now intertwined with the mysteries of an ancient past and the promise of an uncertain future. The interplay of technological marvel and forgotten history created an almost palpable tension, a sense that every data point and decoded symbol was a step closer to unlocking truths buried deep within the fabric of space and time. In that charged moment, as the decryption algorithm churned through layers of alien code, Captain Aria Nova knew that their next move would set in motion events far beyond the confines of the ship. With determination etched on her face, she addressed her team once more. Prepare for a full spectrum analysis. We're going to map this signal to its source, and we're not stopping until we know what it's trying to tell us. The chamber buzzed with focused activity, each crew member contributing to the unraveling mystery with precision and care. Amid the flickering holograms and the relentless tide of data, the signal's hidden message began to emerge, a mosaic of time, space, and destiny waiting to be deciphered. The dark corridors of the forgotten outpost and the luminous pathways of advanced technology converged in that pivotal moment, setting the stage for discoveries that would challenge everything they thought they knew about the galaxy. And as the crew braced themselves for the next phase of the investigation, the ship's sensors detected a subtle shift in the ambient energy, a silent herald of the greater challenges yet to come. The dance of light and shadow, code and consequence, had only just begun. Deep in the endless darkness beyond the main analysis bay, a cold ripple of unease surged through the Aurora's Edge. As the decryption algorithms peeled back the layers of the mysterious distress signal, an unexpected transmission burst onto the secondary monitors, a series of intercepted communications, urgent and resolute. The static gave way to a commanding, almost clinical voice that sent shivers down every spine on board. "Attention, all units," the transmission intoned, echoing in a measured cadence. "Command Admiral Kalair Vortek has activated the fleet. All war divisions, proceed to formation. The old order has fallen. A new era of control begins now." A chill crept over Arya as she absorbed the words. In that instant, the benign mystery of the distress call twisted into something far more dangerous. The signal, once thought to be a desperate plea from an abandoned outpost, was revealed as the trigger for a relic of militaristic terror, a dormant war fleet now reawakened by a man whose ambition was as boundless as the void itself. Arya's eyes flashed with a mixture of determination and disbelief. "This isn't just a cry for help," she murmured, voice tight with resolve. "It's a summons for war." Her mind raced as she recalled the intercepted orders, a stark contrast to her own ideals. While she had always fought to protect and preserve life, this signal now carried the grim promise of annihilation if left unchecked. Elsewhere on the ship, Lieutenant Jax's fingers danced over the controls as he isolated the transmission. "Captain, I'm confirming the origin," he reported, his tone edged with urgency. "It's coming from Sector 9, coordinates that align with the ancient outpost. But there's more. The data indicates a mass mobilization. Admiral Vortek's fleet, dormant for decades, is powering up at full capacity." The room grew heavy with tension as the crew exchanged anxious glances. The ambient hum of the ship's system seemed to synchronize with the pounding of their hearts. Every light on the holographic displays flickered with urgency, as if warning of the chaos soon to be unleashed. In a distant command center on a colossal flagship far beyond Arya's reach, Admiral Kalair Vortek surveyed his awakening forces. His face, etched with years of ruthless pragmatism and icy resolve, was illuminated by the glow of tactical maps and live feeds from his fleet. "We have waited long enough in silence," he declared in a voice devoid of sentiment. "Now the galaxy will tremble beneath the weight of a new order. Our might will crush the old regimes and reshape the cosmos according to our design." Back on the Aurora's Edge, Arya convened an emergency meeting in the briefing chamber. The stark white walls were bathed in the blue luminescence of holographic displays that showed the fleet's formation, a massive armada of warships emerging like predatory shadows across the void. "Listen carefully," Arya said, her voice firm yet laced with an undercurrent of sorrow for the inevitable conflict. "We stand on the brink of a catastrophe that could rewrite the fate of our galaxy. Admiral Vortek is mobilizing his fleet not to defend but to dominate. We must be prepared to intercept and, if necessary, engage." A murmur of apprehension and resolve ran through the assembled officers. Commander Talia, a veteran strategist whose gaze rarely wavered, spoke up. "Captain, we've intercepted several tactical orders. Vortek's fleet is unlike any we've ever encountered, equipped with advanced energy shields, plasma cannons, and autonomous drones. Their formation indicates a coordinated, premeditated assault. He's not merely reacting, he's orchestrating a revolution in military power." Arya's eyes narrowed as she considered the implications. He's reawakening ancient warfare, blending forgotten technology with modern tactics. It's a dangerous combination, one that threatens not only our freedom but the very fabric of interstellar balance. Her mind churned with strategies and countermeasures, each one weighed against the cold calculation of Vortek's ambition. In a private moment, as the meeting dissolved into a flurry of technical discussions and tactical briefings, Arya retreated to her private quarters. There, the weight of responsibility pressed down upon her like the endless night of space. The memories of battles past where friends were lost and ideals were shattered flooded her thoughts. She clenched her fists, feeling the steady thrum of her heartbeat, a defiant counterpoint to the imminent storm of war. Her reverie was interrupted by the soft chime of her personal communicator. The screen flickered to life with an incoming message from an unknown source, a garbled yet unmistakable warning. "Beware the cold calculus of power. Ambition without mercy sows the seeds of oblivion." The message vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving behind a lingering echo of dread and the bitter taste of fate. Outside, the cosmos rumbled with a latent fury. The once silent expanse now pulsed with the energy of awakening engines and mobilizing dreadnoughts. As the Aurora's edge adjusted its course toward the coordinates of the outpost, the intercepted communications continued to relay chilling updates on the warfleet's progression. Every new piece of data revealed the staggering scale of Vortek's forces, a constellation of warships that glinted like malignant stars against the dark canvas of space. A final transmission broke through the static, this one more personal and menacing. "Captain Nova," the voice intoned, cold and devoid of any emotion. "Your interference will only delay the inevitable. The era of your fragile ideals is over." The words, laced with calculated cruelty, reverberated through the ship, igniting a spark of defiance in Arya's heart. She rose to her feet, eyes alight with a fierce determination. "We will see about that," she declared, her voice echoing through the chamber. "Our mission is not to impose order through tyranny, but to protect life and liberty. If Admiral Vortek seeks to rewrite the galaxy in blood and steel, then we must stand as the last bastion of hope against his despotism." As the tension mounted and the war fleet stirred into full motion, the stage was set for a collision of ideologies, a battle where every decision, every sacrifice would determine the fate of billions. The spark of rebellion had been lit, and in the cold void of space, the war between unyielding ambition and indomitable hope was about to ignite. The Aurora's edge pressed onward, its crew steeled for the impending confrontation. With every passing moment, the sound of distant engines grew louder, the cold resolve of Admiral Vortek's forces drawing ever nearer. In the swirling mists of interstellar warfare, the true test of leadership and conviction was about to begin, a test that would echo across the cosmos and forever alter the course of history. In the dim light of the briefing chamber, the weight of impending conflict pressed upon every soul aboard the Aurora's edge. The soft hum of machinery mingled with the quiet murmur of anxious voices as Captain Arya Nova stepped forward to address her diverse assembly of officers, technicians, and seasoned veterans. The holographic display in front of her, a pulsating tapestry of fleet formations and strategic coordinates, cast an otherworldly glow over determined faces. Here, alliances were forged not by blood, but by the shared resolve to confront a threat that transcended old grievances and personal histories. "Listen up," Arya began, her tone a blend of authority and earnest conviction. "We're not just facing a reawakened war fleet. We're contending with a man who believes power is the only language the cosmos understands. Each of you brings something irreplaceable to this fight. Our unity is our strength." Her words, measured and resolute, filled the room with a palpable energy, a spark of hope in the shadow of looming war. Lieutenant Jax, ever the analytical mind, adjusted the holographic map with swift, practiced gestures. "Captain, I've cross-referenced our intel with historical data from previous conflicts," he reported, his voice steady despite the tension. "Our combined resources and expertise could give us a fighting chance if we play to our strength." His eyes met those of Commander Talia, a battle-hardened strategist whose calm presence lent gravity to his analysis. Talia's nod of agreement confirmed that every faction in the room, from the veteran pilots to the young engineers, was united by a common purpose. Amid the assembly, Chief Engineer Helena stepped forward, her gaze intense as she unveiled a schematic of the ship's modified defense systems. "We're adapting the energy shields and weapon arrays to counter the unique technologies Admiral Vortek has deployed," she explained. "Our innovations, coupled with your command, Captain, might just be the edge we need." Her voice carried a note of personal resolve, a testament to the many nights spent fine-tuning every bolt and circuit in the face of uncertainty. The chamber's atmosphere was electric with shared purpose, but beneath the camaraderie lay a tapestry of personal struggles and past scars. Sergeant Rian, a seasoned fighter whose weathered features told stories of previous battles, shared a quiet word with his younger counterpart, Mira. "We've all lost something to war," he murmured, his voice low and gravelly. "But it's our losses that remind us why we fight." Mira's eyes, wide with both trepidation and admiration, flickered with the embers of determination as she tightened her grip on her sidearm. In a secluded corner of the chamber, a conversation unfolded between two officers whose differing backgrounds exemplified the fragile coalition. Ambassador Lyko, once a diplomat and now a liaison between estranged planetary systems, exchanged cautious but hopeful words with Tactical Officer Bren. "Trust is our most valuable currency now," Lyko said softly, her tone laced with both weariness and resolve. "If we falter in unity, Vortex forces will exploit every division." Bren's reply was firm. "We stand as one or not at all." Their brief exchange, though hushed, underscored the delicate balance of loyalty and skepticism that pervaded their ranks. Arya surveyed the room with a mixture of pride and solemn responsibility. The diversity of her crew, a mosaic of cultures, skills, and experiences, was their greatest asset. Yet, she also knew that internal conflicts and lingering doubts could unravel even the most tightly knit formation if left unchecked. "We have our differences," she acknowledged, her voice softening. "But right now, every second counts. Our personal histories and battles have led us to this moment. Let us use our shared pain as a forge to create an unbreakable alliance." As plans were laid out and roles assigned, the room vibrated with a blend of strategic fervor and human vulnerability. Arya detailed the next phase, a coordinated maneuver that would see a select team of scouts infiltrate the derelict outpost to secure critical intelligence, while the rest of the fleet prepared to engage any forward elements of Vortex war machine. "Our mission is as much about understanding our enemy as it is about stopping him," she declared. "Every piece of intel, every small victory brings us closer to the truth and to protecting everything we hold dear." The meeting slowly dissolved into clusters of intense, hushed conversations and rapid exchanges of technical data. In the midst of this strategic flurry, Arya took a solitary moment at the chamber's window, gazing out at the star-strewn expanse. The endless void mirrored the uncertainty ahead, yet also shone with the distant light of hope. In that reflective pause, she silently vowed that every sacrifice, every risk would be justified if it meant preserving the fragile spark of freedom that still burned in the hearts of her crew. The bonds of camaraderie and mutual respect formed in that room were the first bulwark against the tyranny that Vortex sought to impose. In their shared determination, there was the promise of resistance, a united front that would challenge the encroaching darkness. As the Aurora's Edge and its crew prepared to embark on the next phase of their perilous journey, the air was thick with the realization that while the enemy might be formidable, the strength of their alliance was forged from something far more enduring than mere military might. And with that unspoken pledge echoing in every determined gaze, the crew stepped forward into the uncertainty of the cosmos, bound together by purpose, tempered by hardship, and ready to face the adversary that lurked in the shadows of the universe. The Aurora's Edge sliced through the cosmic veil toward the heart of the Helix Nebula, its engines a steady heartbeat amid the swirling mists of interstellar dust. Captain Aria Nova stood on the observation deck, watching the nebula's iridescent ribbons unfurl across the void. Here, in this realm of pulsating energy and ethereal beauty, the ancient relics of forgotten civilizations whispered their secrets. The ship's sensors had pinpointed an anomalous energy signature, a beacon of the past that pulsed with both warning and allure. Aria's mind raced as she recalled the cryptic symbols deciphered back on the ship. They hinted at a time when the cosmos was governed by an entirely different language, a blend of art and science, emotion and computation. Determined to uncover the origin of the distress signal and the enigma it now represented, she assembled a select team of explorers. Among them were Lieutenant Jax, whose analytical mind never failed to unravel mysteries hidden in data streams, and Chief Engineer Helena, whose intimate knowledge of ancient technologies provided a bridge between the old and the new. As the landing shuttle detached from the Aurora's Edge and hurtled toward the glowing surface of an abandoned alien installation, the craft shuddered ever so slightly. Outside, the nebula's vibrant hues danced with shades of violet and emerald, casting surreal reflections on the shuttle's sleek hull. The vessel's interior was a cocoon of quiet determination, punctuated by the soft hum of instrumentation and the occasional beep of navigational updates. Every crew member felt the electric tension of what lay ahead, a mix of anticipation, fear, and the unyielding drive to seek truth amid the stars. The shuttle touched down on a barren plateau beneath a vast shattered dome, a remnant of an architectural marvel lost to time. The structure, constructed of an unknown alloy that shimmered with an inner light, stretched into the darkness like the ribcage of a colossal, ancient beast. Intricate carvings adorned its surface, patterns that evoked images of celestial maps and abstract narratives, each stroke a testament to a civilization that once reached for the stars. The air was cool and thin, carrying a faint metallic tang mixed with the distant scent of ozone, as if the relic itself exhaled memories of forgotten epochs. Aria led the team through a narrow entrance that yawned like a portal to another era. Inside, the corridors were bathed in a soft phosphorescent glow emitted by bioluminescent crystals embedded in the walls. Every step echoed through the silence, a rhythmic reminder of the passage of time in a place where the rules of modern physics seemed only partially applicable. The floor was uneven and etched with ancient glyphs that pulsed faintly when touched by stray beams of light from their portable devices. The team paused frequently, their breath visible in the cool air, as they meticulously recorded every detail, a digital map of an alien legacy waiting to be deciphered. Lieutenant Jax knelt before a massive rune-inscribed panel embedded in the wall. His gloved fingers traced the smooth alien script, absorbing the story it told of a civilization that revered both technology and nature. "These markings," he murmured, "suggest that this installation was once a sanctuary, a place of learning and communion with the cosmos." His voice was a blend of wonder and scientific curiosity, each syllable carrying the weight of untold histories. Helena, examining a nearby console, added, I'm picking up residual energy flows that align with the patterns we decoded on board. It seems they left behind a blueprint, perhaps a guide to harnessing energy that transcends conventional methods. Deeper within the labyrinthine corridors, the explorers reached a vast central chamber. The room was dominated by a colossal crystalline structure that rose from the ground like a natural monument. Its facets refracted ambient light into dazzling displays, transforming the space into a kaleidoscope of shifting colors. The walls, adorned with frescoes depicting celestial bodies and interwoven beings, suggested that this structure was both a power source and a repository of knowledge. Here, the ancient architects had clearly intended not only to communicate their wisdom but also to protect it with formidable technology. Arya approached the structure with measured reverence. Every sensation, the subtle vibration of the crystal lattice beneath her feet, the gentle hum of latent energy resonating through the chamber, and the almost musical cadence of her own heartbeat, melded into a singular experience of awe. In that moment, she sensed the intermingling of past and future. The relic was not merely a remnant of history, but a living archive waiting to impart its secrets to those willing to listen. Her team set up an array of scanners and portable decryption modules around the crystal. The device's displays flickered as they began to process the ancient data stored within its Gradually, patterns emerged, equations interwoven with symbols that defied immediate translation. It was as if the crystal itself was a storyteller, recounting sagas of cosmic events, celestial migrations, and the rise and fall of empires. Helena's eyes widened in realization as she remarked, "This isn't just a power source, it's a repository of an entire civilization's knowledge." Their technology wasn't designed to dominate, it was meant to enlighten. Yet, beneath the marvel, a sense of foreboding lingered. Arya felt the weight of unspoken warnings encoded within the design, a subtle caution against the hubris of harnessing power without wisdom. Every display of ancient brilliance seemed to carry a latent message, an admonition that unchecked ambition could lead to cataclysm. The structure, with its graceful yet imposing presence, became a silent guardian of secrets, its luminescence a bittersweet reminder of both the pinnacle and the peril of technological evolution. As the explorers continued their meticulous study, an unexpected fluctuation rippled through the chamber. The crystal pulsed, its glow intensifying and then dimming in a rhythmic pattern that resembled a heartbeat. A low, resonant hum filled the air, a sound that vibrated deep within the souls of those present. Arya's instincts flared. This was no ordinary relic. It was reacting, perhaps to their presence or maybe to an external force that had long been dormant. "Prepare for a potential surge in energy," she ordered calmly, though her mind raced with possibilities. "This structure is more than a monument. It might be a key to unlocking defenses or even ancient weaponry." In that charged moment, the boundaries between past and present blurred. The Helix Nebula, with its shifting nebular veils and enigmatic relics, seemed to breathe life into the old mysteries. As the explorers labored to decode the final layers of the ancient data, the chamber itself seemed to respond, a luminous symphony that echoed the rise and fall of civilizations and the eternal cycle of creation and destruction. Captain Arya Nova, standing amid the radiant ruins of an alien sanctuary, felt both humbled and empowered. Here, at the crossroads of legacy and destiny, the mysteries of the Helix Nebula beckoned with promises of insight and warnings of peril. Every discovery deepened the enigma, challenging her to reconcile the technological marvels of the past with the precarious future that lay ahead. In this silent cathedral of light and shadow, the ancient architects had left a legacy of wisdom, a beacon that could guide the galaxy toward enlightenment or plunge it into chaos if misunderstood. With careful deliberation and a heart brimming with both hope and caution, Arya vowed to honor the legacy of those long gone. The secrets of the crystal, and the cautionary tale it embodied, would shape her next decisions. For in the mysteries of the Helix Nebula lay not only the key to an unprecedented power, but also a solemn reminder that the pursuit of knowledge and power must always be tempered by the humility to learn from the past. As the explorers prepared to extract and analyze further data, the nebula outside continued its eternal dance, a silent witness to the merging of history, technology, and destiny. In that moment, the promise of enlightenment warred with the threat of annihilation, and Captain Aria Nova knew that the choices made here would echo across the stars. The cosmos erupted into chaos as the Aurora's edge plunged into the heart of the enemy formation. Across the star-speckled void, a sprawling armada of warships, sleek, angular, and bristling with lethal energy, swarmed like a predatory swarm. The silence of space shattered under the roar of plasma cannons and the crackle of energy shields, each explosion a searing burst of light against the backdrop of eternal night. Captain Aria Nova stood at the command console, her eyes fixed on the holographic display that mapped the sprawling battlefield. Every flicker on the screen represented a ship engaged in deadly combat, the rhythmic pulsing of enemy beams and the echoing thunder of distant detonations blended into a symphony of impending doom. She could almost feel the heat of ionized particles as they danced around the flagship, each one a reminder of the fragile balance between victory and annihilation. All stations, brace for impact. Aria's voice rang out, resolute and unwavering. The order cut through the tumult like a beacon of hope amid the storm. In the cramped confines of the command deck, crew members worked with a singular focus, calibrating weapon systems and fortifying shields. The steady hum of machinery mingled with the tense murmur of battle calculations, each second ticking by with the weight of galaxies on its shoulders. Outside, the war fleet mobilized with terrifying precision. Admiral Kale Vortex flagship, a massive vessel adorned with cold, angular lines and emblazoned with symbols of absolute dominion, led the charge. Its energy fields shimmered ominously, casting spectral glows on the surrounding fleet, as if heralding a new era of tyranny. In the midst of this mechanical juggernaut, Vortex's voice sliced through the static of enemy communications, taunting and unyielding. Captain Nova, your idealism is a relic of a bygone era. Today, order will be forged in the fires of our might. Aria's heart pounded in her chest, but her resolve never wavered. With a steady hand, she redirected the ship's energy to the forward batteries, channeling every watt of power into a singular defiant burst. We fight not for conquest, but for the right to live free, she declared, her tone both a command and a promise. The Aurora's edge surged forward, its hull glowing with the combined might of hope and defiance. In the vast arena of space, battle lines were drawn in streams of incandescent light. Fighter squadrons, agile and nimble, darted among colossal warships, their laser trails painting ephemeral streaks of brilliance. One fighter narrowly evaded a barrage of plasma torpedoes, its evasive maneuvers a delicate dance between life and oblivion. Meanwhile, energy shields rippled under the relentless assault, each impact sending tremors through the metallic sinews of the flagship. The confrontation escalated into a fierce ballet of strategy and brute force. The Aurora's edge initiated a series of calculated maneuvers, weaving through enemy fire with the grace of a comet. At the helm, Lieutenant Jax monitored trajectories and recalibrated targeting systems, his fingers dancing over the controls as if conducting a cosmic orchestra. Captain, we're taking heavy fire on the port side. Shield integrity is dipping, he warned, his voice edged with urgency. Aria's response was immediate and decisive. Divert auxiliary power to the affected sectors. Initiate countermeasures on my mark. The command deck became a hive of focused activity, every crew member attuned to the life and death rhythm of combat. Outside, the vacuum of space lit up with sporadic flashes of exploding warships, each detonation scattering fragments like glittering shards of broken dreams. In the midst of the chaos, the flagship's communication channels crackled with a direct feed from Admiral Vortek himself. His visage, projected in cold, stark detail on the main screen, seemed almost surreal against the fiery backdrop of battle. "You underestimate the inevitability of order, Captain," he intoned, his voice carrying an icy finality. "Your fleet is but a flickering flame before the raging inferno of our resolve." Without missing a beat, Arya's retort was both defiant and deeply personal. "And you, Admiral, mistake oppression for strength. It is our collective spirit, our unwavering humanity, that will outshine any artificial command," she replied, her eyes burning with a fierce light. The exchange crackled with the tension of a duel, a collision of ideologies as much as of weapons. As the confrontation raged, the battlefield itself became a living canvas of cosmic carnage. Nebulas swirled with violent hues, distorting the edges of the skirmish into surreal waves of color and light. Gravity wells tugged relentlessly at straying vessels, forcing them into perilous orbits where time itself seemed to slow down. Amid the turmoil, the flagship maneuvered into a precarious position, a silent gamble to breach the enemy's command core. In a daring, heart-stopping moment, Arya initiated the final phase of her plan. With a deep, steadying breath, she gave the order to launch a concentrated barrage, a luminous torrent of charged particles designed to disrupt the enemy's energy fields. The barrage tore through space like a spectral arrow, converging on Vortex flagship in a blinding explosion of light and power. The shockwave rippled outward, sending debris and energy surges in every direction, momentarily obscuring the battlefield in a shroud of incandescent fury. For a heartbeat, silence reigned, a pregnant pause where the universe held its breath. Then, as the dust of the detonation began to settle, the screens flickered back to life. The enemy flagship, once the unyielding symbol of Vortex might, trembled under the assault. Alarms shrieked through the corridors of the adversary's vessel, and its once dominant energy fields wavered, signaling a potential turning point in the battle. But the war was far from over. As the Aurora's edge pressed its advantage, enemy reinforcements emerged from the cosmic haze, their arrival heralded by the ominous hum of engines and the glint of newly unleashed armaments. The duel between light and shadow intensified, every moment charged with the stakes of countless lives and the future of the galaxy itself. In the final desperate moments of the clash, Arya's determination and unwavering hope shone through the tumult. With each calculated move, each strategic burst of energy, she embodied the resilience of all who yearned for freedom. The battlefield, a chaotic tableau of defiance and despair, became the crucible in which destinies were forged and the fate of worlds decided. As the titanic struggle raged on, the echo of every explosion, every whispered command, resonated through the void. Captain Arya Nova, amid the maelstrom of cosmic war, stood as a beacon of courage, a single steadfast light against an encroaching darkness. In that epic moment, the battle for the galaxy was not just a clash of weapons, but a timeless contest between tyranny and the indomitable spirit of hope. In the quiet aftermath of the cosmic maelstrom, the battlefield of stars slowly gave way to a mournful silence. The once fiery hues of battle had faded into a tapestry of scattered embers and lingering echoes. The Aurora's edge, scarred but resolute, floated amidst drifting debris, a silent sentinel witnessing the cost of a war fought not merely with weapons, but with the very essence of hope and sacrifice. Captain Arya Nova stood on the bridge, gazing out at a galaxy transformed. The void that had once shimmered with relentless fury now bore the soft, melancholy glow of distant nebulae and healing wounds. Fragments of shattered warships and flickering energy fields drifted like ghostly reminders of lives lost, each one telling its own tale of valor and despair. The harsh clamor of conflict was replaced by the gentle hum of recovery protocols and the measured whispers of survivors recounting their trials. Inside the command center, the atmosphere was heavy with introspection. Officers, once vibrant with the adrenaline of combat, now exchanged solemn glances, their faces etched with the scars of both battle and burden. Lieutenant Jax methodically reviewed sensor logs, his hands steady yet his eyes reflecting the unspoken grief for comrades who would never return. "We've won the battle, but at a cost we must never forget," he murmured, his voice a quiet elegy against the vastness of space. In a corner of the debriefing room, Commander Talia and Sergeant Ryan huddled over a flickering holographic map of the devastated sector. Their conversation was punctuated by the low beeping of distress signals and the occasional crackle of static, a reminder that even in victory, the specter of future conflicts loomed. Every spark of rebellion, every whispered memory of loss, has forged us into something new, Talia reflected. We carry the weight of those sacrifices as both a burden and a promise. Meanwhile, on the observation deck, the shattered panorama of the galaxy revealed unexpected beauty, a cosmic rebirth. The Helix Nebula's once ferocious storm now unfolded in gentle swirls of pastel blues and soft pinks. Its light filtered through remnants of battle, shimmered like fragile hope amid the darkness. Arya's gaze softened as she watched, a silent vow forming within her heart that this victory, however bittersweet, would be the foundation for rebuilding a future where freedom and compassion reigned over tyranny. Amid the wreckage, the seeds of renewal began to sprout. Survivors gathered to honor their fallen, forming a quiet vigil that transcended the boundaries of rank and duty. In their shared silence, there was a profound recognition that the true cost of power lay not in the destruction wrought, but in the loss of humanity itself. The scars left behind were a reminder that every act of ambition, every unchecked desire for control, could spiral into chaos if left unchallenged. As the Aurora's Edge set a new course towards rehabilitation efforts across the shattered sectors, Arya convened a final meeting with her closest officers. The room was bathed in the soft luminescence of twilight filtering through the panoramic viewport, where distant stars twinkled like fragile promises of tomorrow. "We have witnessed the price of war. Every sacrifice, every lost soul, has taught us the value of what we fight for," she declared, her voice imbued with both grief and unwavering resolve. "Let this day mark not only an end but a new beginning. Our duty now is to heal, to learn, and to ensure that the legacy of this battle leads us to a future defined by hope rather than despair." In that quiet, reflective moment, the echoes of the past converged with the promise of the future. The galaxy, though marred by the ravages of conflict, pulsed with a renewed rhythm, a heartbeat that resonated with the memories of those who had given everything, and the collective determination of those who remained to forge a better destiny. Every star, every silent void whispered of rebirth and reconciliation. The journey ahead was uncertain, the wounds deep, but the resilience of the human spirit shone brighter than the scars of war. With hearts heavy yet determined, the crew of the Aurora's Edge embraced the daunting task of rebuilding, knowing that even in the darkest remnants of battle, light could be reborn.